I'm going to block it.
Okay.
Okay, we should be on.
Let me share to the pages. Look for it on Facebook. Is it on? I didn't pull it up over there.
I should have gotten the master chair this
No,
time.
I need the master chair.
Oops. Trying to use the mouse to drag the laptop.
I think that's everything we need. Okay, let me try and go live.
Hey, everybody.
And
We are back and we have some cards to show you. Well, too, because, you know, all new stuff. And then I had moved everything off the table to put our the box on for before. So then we had to re-find everything because my office is one giant stack of piles. Piles everywhere. So I got us pulled up on YouTube. So
We'll
I am
on
going.
Facebook.
Yes, we're getting us pulled up on
There we
Facebook.
go.
There we go.
Got it.
Hi, Tanya. Hi, Bunky. Nobody's over on YouTube yet.
yet.
There are people. So if you're on YouTube, say hi. She's got the Facebook people
over
and I got
here.
the YouTube people.
I'm gonna share
So
this.
I am going to be stamping with the Camo, which I don't have the case here. I don't know where to put it. And Ridiculously Awesome. Because the Camo obviously needed something else. And so I went back and forth, like the postage stamp or some flowers. But then I just went with words. And I'm going to use some embellishments. I haven't actually finished the card. I'd get a mock-up. And I tried it some different ways. And my goal was to use my shirt for a color inspiration. And then I remembered that we don't have Posy ink. Don't know how I forgot that. But that didn't work. And then she is using
Hippo Happiness because it was the first thing
Hi, Carol.
I wanted
Hi,
when
Kathy.
I saw the catalog. I'm going the wrong way. There we go.
Yeah. You
It's
get that
just
from
so
me.
cute.
So those are the ones that we are going to do. You want to go first or second?
I'll go second. You can go first.
Because she has some treats from Susan that she's going to eat while I stamp. So let me.
Everyone needs snacks.
We haven't had lunch yet. Let me. You see the mouse over there? There we go.
There it is.
Okay. So I'm going to use Posy paper. And then I tried the Camo stamp a couple of different ways. And I ended up, this is the way I liked the best. Oh, here's the,
Hi, South Carolina.
it looks like this. And so it's got, like some of them have lines, some of them have crisscrossies, and some of them are solid. So I thought my first idea, I took out the Stampin' Right markers and that I inked them all up with the markers. And it took a long time, and it in the long run, it didn't really make that much of a difference. So second try, it looked a lot better. The colors were stronger, and I'm going to use just the regular stamp pads. So I just went ahead and I stuck it on my Stamparatus. And because it's large, I tried it with the magnet, and it just was really impossible to get it work, but because the magnet blocked it. So you just want to make sure that this is a quarter sheet, a little bit smaller. I'm going to mount it on Posy. So just make sure it's on here. Then we both are, I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus, and she's going to use the Stampin' Seal. So the bag is great, but this doesn't stay hooked on.
That bothered me.
Because, you know, some of them do, some of them don't. So I just threw this back in here, and then you can put it on later. But this works fabulous. So I'm just going to lift this up, put a little bit of it, tiny, tiny bit. It comes out super well. You don't have to make any kind of a check mark, and then I'll use it some more on my card. So I'm just going to kind of line this up on here. Again, as long as it's on.
Hi, North Carolina. Got both of them.
So you just want to make sure that it's underneath.
Hi, Missouri
this.
and Canada.
We got people from everywhere. So you want to make sure that, I mean, then normally with a Stamparatus, you want to make sure it's straight. The great thing is with the Camo, it doesn't matter because the Camo is kind of all over there anyways. So I started with some Sahara sand. because it's the kind of the lightest color. And I literally just put some on here, kind of wherever. Because I found it was the easiest way. And then I went to gray granite. And I know I don't close my stamps all the way, and sometimes, or my stamp pads, I know that bothers some people, but I have sometimes a hard time shutting them. So just got that on there. And then I went to my Highland Heather. And you could do ink spots if you wanted to ink them all up. But I don't have any that are clear if you have the colors that you want from an old paper pumpkin. So just had it on there, and then kind of just to help it, make sure that they didn't have lines anywhere, just anywhere. I just kind of dabbed it, and it just kind of muted it all. The other thing, when I did the markers, it took so long to color it that I had to huff on it. And on a background stamp to huff on it, that was a lot of huffing. And you wouldn't want to do that at camp right now because, you know, COVID and everything. Who wants to be blowing your germs everywhere? So got that. And so here's a little place right here. And you can see it's not that I didn't ink it. I just didn't press it. So just press it. And then you got some camo. And it is going to dry a little bit lighter than what it looks. But it's camo. And you could do it with greens or pinks or whatever color you want. And it does dry lighter. So just take this off of here. And then I used the Let Your Faith Be Bigger Than Your Fear. And just black. And I'm going to need the die cut machine. So if you want to move it up here. We don't have space on the table to have it up here with both of us. And I just have it in black. Again, on some shimmer white cardstock. I like that it's a nice big font. I like mixed fonts. And then this is one of the dies from the Hippo Happiness. I like that it's a nice label set. So even if you're not getting using the hippos or the unicorns, what's the other animal in it?
A sheep.
Or the sheep. You can use it on your Camo
There's a
cards.
butterfly too. He has a tiny little face. It's cute.
Just takes one roll through. You can see it has a nice stitched pattern. So if you want, you can also use this piece because it does the stitching again on the outside, like so many of our dies do these days. And then I have my gray granite, dark, and my light Highland Heather. I'm going to use the brush tip. And just add a tiny bit of color with my brush tip. Just add some color there. And then I pulled out this is the ribbon that goes with the Playing with Patterns ribbon combo pack. So I pulled out the Highland Heather of that. It could be Posy, I don't know.
I think it's Posy.
And then this is the one that goes with the flowers.
Jar flowers.
No, it's the
artistry blooms.
No,
that came with the
peonies.
Peonies.
It goes with the peonies. So I'm just going to do a faux bow with it.
Flowers.
I'm going to take this camo and make it be a little bit more feminine. So I'm just going to cut 2 little pieces. And of course, I never open these when they're new. You can tell I haven't actually made the card. I just messed with the stamps. You open them.
I need the scissors.
So let's fold this in half. So if you haven't placed your order yet, we both have specials, so you can see our specials on our pages or in our emails, depending on how you get it. So look how easy this is to use. You literally just put it on here and just barely drag it. So this is the C Plus. Like I'm hardly even pressing. You do it because she hasn't used this one yet. Like it's so super easy.
The Plus better than the regular.
This isn't stamped as well, and I know I'm going to put my words down here. So that's how I'm going to decide which direction my Camo goes. And the reason I'm using Seal Plus is because I'm going to do my faux bow back behind here. This is such nice ribbon. It's so like it will form well for these fake kind of bows. So just flip this around. And then the Seal Plus is like the old Fuse, so it will hold all of the ribbons really well. It reminds me, for those of you that have been around for a super, super long time, of was it Hermaflex? Because it has all of those. Somebody's asking how we got our new stuff so quick. Yeah, I paid extra. You can pay if you want to pay. You can get it quick if you pay.
Overnight shipping.
Yes. You know, UPS does wonders if you want to pay them extra money. So put this on here. So we'll have these little floppies out here. And I always do the bigger one first so I can fit the little one in. And I've got these here. Then I'll add this over the top. Put that there. And then I'm going to take the Elegant Faceted Gems. And these are also, I think, from the Peonies.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see it. I'll take a picture and I'll put it closer on Facebook and on my website. But they have like little camo, the same little stripy patterns that are in the camo. So they match, even though they are kind of elegant. And the camo's kind of, you know, I wear jewelry when I wear my camo. So I'm going to take a couple of these. And you always use 3 when you use embellishments, or an odd number at least. So I'm going to grab 2 of the big ones and 1 of the little ones. And there we go. Upside down.
That way.
There we go. So super quick card. I like that it mixes a whole bunch of the different elements that we have. So that's mine. So now let's see Carissa's with the hippos. I'll be the big shot holder.
Thanks.
Somebody's got to have it on their lap.
Your turn to hold it. Oh.
Okay. We almost lost it all.
Move your colors to that side. I don't want to roll over your toes. So I am going to use the Hippo Happiness because it's cute. We already said that, but there it is again. I also am going to be using the glimmer paper with it because I love it. So I'm using the colors out of the glimmer paper to make this card. I'm starting with a daffodil card back. So I will fold that first. Then for the background, I'm going to be putting the glimmer paper on top of it. So I want white behind it so you can see the colors. Going to need the big shot. And then the subtle 3D folders from the last catalog, but it's still one of my favorite things. So I'm going to use that. Here's those 2 for the holding station.
Hi, Sandra.
Wait, no, this way, right? There we go. Get that through. My whole arm.
I tried to get her to use the world map. We had some design discussions.
I just love this embossing
she likes
folder.
This one, and she doesn't have the other one, so she went with what she had. I thought the unicorn
Okay.
might look like it was in clouds if it had.
Then while I have the, I'll cut them all out later. I'll give you back this. So I have the Stampin' Seal regular. I put the cap back on. Get this on the background. Make sure I'm in the center of the camera there.
One thing that you're going to like about the Stampin' Seal, I don't know if you can see it, is on the snail, because it was in a black container. How often did you use it and then all of a sudden you were just out and you didn't know that you were going to run out? This is going to be really obvious when you start to run out.
It's nice.
You're running out. And I know that I can't remember exactly how much more, but there is much more on a roll than there was on the snail.
The old one. Okay, now for the stamping. I wanted to use the in colors, so I am going to be using Magenta Madness because I thought it matched the pink section of this paper really well, and then I thought Flamingo was the next one over in here. So the unicorn needs a light and a dark color. So I'm going to be doing the body in Flamingo.
Move that. I can't see what there's a stamp in the way of.
There we go.
I would store it with the cap because it's super sticky. Both of them are. And I think that like if this is laying somewhere, you know, one of the problems that people often have is that this part gets gunky, but I think it's because it's often like sticks to things on the table or dusty. So either stick this back on or stick it back in the bags, because the bags, you know, you can keep them. They're nice.
Put the magenta on top. That's crooked.
We haven't compared the seal and the Seal Plus, but we can do that for you in just a second. We'll put both of them on a piece of scrap in a second and we'll touch them. She used the Seal and I used the Seal Plus just because I got one of each in my order. And so it made it easy for us to both have a new one.
I forgot to order any of them. I didn't want my head all the way in the camera, but I can't line it up. There we go. Now we have a little unicorn.
But the bags they come in
are resealable.
It does say replace the cap on the applicator. But yeah, it has a little, it's like a Ziploc seal on the top. So, I mean, you can keep them in here. Which will be really nice if you take it to camps or like the shoebox swaps or any place else that you go and you can write your name on it.
I'll leave the cap over there. Okay, I'm going to now cut him out. Or her. She's pink, I guess.
Oh, you cut this out too?
Yes, but I was going to do that, the label back. Okay. So, I also am going to do so here's the dies I'm using. It has the two more like rectangular at the corners off types of dies I think are really cool. Then there's like the oval round ones and then the larger one like she just used. I'm going to use this later. I'm going to do my sentiment on the white right now. And then line up my little unicorn. And the world's most teeny tiny die ever. Oh, I dropped it again. I'm going to lose this for sure. The little unicorn horn. Get that. Take pick tool. Put it over the top. There we go. They're just so tiny.
I'm dropping all kinds.
I can hear you dropping all kinds of things. Okay.
I'm trying to find an unopened snail to see how much is on it.
I have some at home, but that won't help now.
Here, I was going to show you, just size-wise, look at the difference. This is a snail, and this is a...
it's a hand shape, too, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, this is much more... How many people, when they pick these up, have it upside down? Yeah. Like if you're a demonstrator and you have events, hi, Mary, and people are like, I don't know how to use this. This obviously has, like, your fingers go here, so it's ergonomically correct. But just look at the amount of this. Looks like a roll of Scotch tape This looks like there's a little bit of adhesive in here to put on something. So, I mean, you can already tell just by looking at it how much more. And the same, this is the old fuse. Mine's laying here somewhere because I do prefer this as an adhesive because I think it holds better. So it looks bigger, but I don't know. This had 13 yards.
I don't know if you guys can see this. It came out really tiny. That's how tiny the little unicorn horn is. So it is easy to lose it after you cut it out. I'm going to leave it on the white so I can find it again later.
This doesn't say how many yards. This says inches.
Okay. Here you can roll them on this scrap if you need. Then I'm going to roll through the next size up of the rectangle for a border on some Coastal Cabana.
What do you want me to do with the white?
You said you were going to roll them to show them on a scrap, so it's giving you scrap.
We'll do that when you're done.
That works.
You know where my catalog went?
Yes, it's on the chair over there.
We have a giant mess.
We have really made a mess. And then the last thing I'm going to cut out is some glimmer paper. Oh, you moved the glimmer paper. So I didn't want to waste any, but I didn't want all of the yellow. So I'm going to cut it a little farther over, and then I'll show you what to do with all of the extra. I lost the scissors again. Here we go. This paper looks so good on camera. It's so bright.
Okay, these have 16.5 yards. And this used to have, oh, well, I looked at this fuse used to have, what did I say, 12?
I think so.
So it's got 4 more yards than the fuse had. But I'm pretty sure the snail had less. Let me find an old catalog.
There's lots of them lying around. Oh, it says 16.4 yards on seal rolls. So the new ones.
And the snail had 13. So it's got 3 more yards than snail.
Okay, and then like the other one, you can see the dots on the edge, which look really cool, and the piece. But for this piece, if you guys, here's that. We don't need
it
anymore.
With it now?
Yeah, if you
I'm
want to
gonna
put
move
it over
it
here.
before we drop it on our feet.
Good call. So if you got the Confetti Flowers border punch from the pre-order, it came with the set. I don't know what it's called. It has the really big always in it. With these, if you have extra little containers from old, what even came in here? The sail away trinkets. You can put this through here. I'll make sure.
Upside down.
Yeah, no, I want to make sure I get close to the edge. These out. And now you have a bunch of little glitter flowers that you can
make your own embellishments.
Or confetti.
Yeah,
if you got
who wants to
something
waste all
up.
this?
That way.
You can do it with really any of your old punches.
That's true.
But just if you just keep them in here, then they'll be ready.
I'll do it upside down so you can see it on the color. So you just do whatever ones you need. I'm going to try and aim them into the, there we go, right into the container that time. Get some more. Now I don't feel as bad for wasting some of the paper because I have confetti out of it. And I can get more out of it later too. But that way, or on this one, I cut farther into the pink when I was messing around with this earlier. So this way I could get some pink flowers to add to my little confetti container. And those I can just keep in here. You can see them in there. All right. Now I'm going to, my Stampin' Sew container's in the way. Stamp my sentiment. I picked these two because I am going to do a border with some of the glitter paper. I felt like these were the closest colors to the edges of that. So on here, I don't want to lose my tiny little unicorn horn. It's stuck to my finger already. I'm going to do the tiny little stars that come in here. You can see them right there in the green, granny apple green. Just kind of across the middle. I like how tiny these are. It doesn't stamp very fat, which is nice. And then in Gorgeous Grape, I'm going to do the when in doubt, be a unicorn, because that's a great saying. And then because I put Stella on every card that I make, I'm going to put a little bit of Stella on all of the little green spots to make them extra sparkly. There's that
Super
piece.
cute.
And then I'm also going to put Wink of Stella on my entire unicorn before I stamp the face, so I can make sure it's all sparkly, because unicorns are sparkly in my imagination. I'll hold it up so you can see it. It gives it little feet, and then the mane and tail and nose are all whatever you stamped as your base color. I'm going to put the little face on with, can you hand me the black stamp pad?
Yep.
Thank you.
I can't believe you haven't lost the little unicorn
Horn yet.
horn.
I know, I'm keeping an eye on
It's
it.
teensy tiny.
I think I'm going to lose. If you guys can see it, you can barely even see it. The tiny little butterfly face is so small. I don't know how people aren't going to lose that. Okay, then try and line up the nostrils. That's pretty close. I'll take it. Oof.
She's so cute.
And then flip it over. I'm going to use the fine tip glue. I use this on everything to add the horn to the back. I can get this back on.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Oh, I got it. Flip over the horn. And then where's the scissors? I always need both ends of the take your pick tool at the same time. Press that on there. There we go. And then angle it. Okay, I'm going to let that dry while I put the rest of this together. Which one? This is plus. So I'm using Stampin' Seal. It, I feel like, acts more like the Fast Fuse. This feels more like the snail when I've used them. It's
because
like they
this
reverse.
comes Gunji, like the Fast Fuse,
Yeah.
but I think it's the overall hold at the end.
It's got like the little tail on it.
But it doesn't,
which is how Fuse was.
Yeah, it doesn't gunge up here like Fuse used to.
It's not overly sticky. Now it's got a little border on it. Gonna add, there we go, my glimmer piece across the bottom. Cut that a little crooked. That's fine. That's what happens when I go fast. That's really crooked. It does peel up. They peel up nicely, guys. Didn't know that. Add the label. And then I'm going to do reverse gradient. So light to dark and then dark to light. There's that. No, I don't like that.
Well, it does pull up well, which is nice to know.
Yeah. Pulls it better than the last ones. I think I'm going to move this down. We'll see how long you can pull it up a while after. There we go. Okay, then I put them over here. The Stampin' Dimensionals, I'm going to use big ones on the label. And then if you wanted, you could punch flowers or confetti or just cut the middle out of this if you want to save this part of the paper too. Since it's being, I picked Cabana because it matches this section of the glimmer paper, and then I'm covering up that section of glimmer paper. No big deal. At least it makes the sentiment match. Okay, and then on the unicorn, I'm going to use one big one on the head so I can hold the horn down in case it's not all the way dry. And then a tiny one on the back half since it fits better. Just put my unicorn in the middle. And then to finish it off, I'm going to use the Artistry Blooms adhesive sequins. I don't know if you guys also hate this packaging like I do. So I have the bag that I took off of the dies and I slid them in it so I know what it is. And then I can have the sequins in there too. All of these colors match perfectly. I'm going to put a blue one on. And I'm going to do a light pinkish orange right here. And a dark pink up here. I want it a little closer. It's going to stay there. And that's it. Well, I need to go this way more.
It's upside down.
It is upside down.
Sometimes we're camera challenged. Because when you're doing it live, it's different than when you're filming.
This thing. It's very shiny if you can't tell. And it's got a full rainbow. So all of the unicorn fans will like it.
So here's the
here's
side the two cards. Our first two cards from our orders. So we have so many more stamps. If you saw our unboxing, like we have stamps and stamps and stamps. And the funny thing is, as we're looking through them, we're like, well, we didn't get this and we didn't get that. And we should order that.
And I didn't finish using all the stuff for my pre-order. I still have 2 bundles I haven't touched.
So, you're always thinking ahead, literally, as we have a whole box of stuff. And as I'm sitting here looking, like, look at this. Like, I just want to use, she would be super cute with the camo, would she not? But let us try, because you asked about the adhesive. So let's try. I mean, we just saw that you could move it. So let's try if we stick
the cap.
This. Snail. And where's the seal? So for one, we'll see if we can move something. Thankfully, I always have lots of scrap paper around. So here's some scrap from a sunflower I made the other day. So here, we'll see if, like moving factor, say I just stuck my scraps on crooked and you just saw, and you've mounted it and then you realize it's crooked. So see if you can pull.
I'll do the seal first.
So that gives you seal pull off.
And it leaves the seal there.
And the snail just ripped your card.
Yep.
So
here's the snail. If you can. Oh, my words are upside down. Snail pulled it right off. Seal comes up. Let's try seal plus.
But it's going to hold. It's definitely, look. It's not. I'm pulling as hard as I can. So it's not going to fall off your card. So let's do the fuse. Do you see my fuse? It's on the table somewhere because that's what I've been using.
Oh, here's a messed up unicorn from earlier. Welcome back, friend. So this one, oh, it's sticking to the table. Let me put this back on.
You don't see my fuse, but most of you probably don't have it anymore unless you're like me and you hoarded it. Oh, there's another snail.
I have a bunch of fuse.
And see, that's, I don't know if you could see that on camera, but that pulled like 2 things of it out. That's why people didn't like it, because it tends to, like, you can see all the sticky around here.
Put it close up my words and see if you can see. Oh, you can't really tell that this has like little, oh, there you go. If I get the light right, it has like little lines in the new Seal Plus.
I love this brush set too, Diane. It's so cute.
Okay, stick test. Seal Plus. And fuse. Give them a second. Pull this one up. Ooh. Oh, if you do it curvy, but you're bending it, so
yeah, it's not coming up.
Seal
if you make
Plus doesn't really come up. It ripped a little bit and it curls this. It only comes up in a curly way. And then fuse.
It doesn't usually come up either.
No.
But these are good, like when you want to hold the ribbon. Like that's how I stuck this on.
Yeah,
they're super good for holding ribbon. Or if you scrapbook.
So this pulled up the paper like the snail did. When I pulled up the Seal and the Seal Plus, the adhesive stays where you put it. It did rip this a little bit, but the fuse one peels off your card back and stays on here, which is what happened. It just did it again. The snail, the adhesive stays on this. But when you pull up the seal stays on your card back and not the piece you're pulling off. So like if I messed up this and I'd stamped it and I wanted to peel it up, it would stay on the card back. I could just put a new piece on it. But if you need your card back to stay the same, both of these have ripped it. So I like the new ones.
So that's what we have for you. I have to get ready for my camp.
I will come up with more
Chris
stuff
is going to be stamping some new stuff. So if you're super lucky, she may get another YouTube video up today with something new. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
probably at least a blog post.
Yeah. She can't go live on YouTube. You have to have a ton of followers before YouTube lets you go live on YouTube. But she may go live on her Facebook later today.
Yeah.
So if she gets that done, otherwise I have to go cut me some paper because I get to have live people in my house tomorrow.
Human contact.
Yes, it's so much fun. So thanks everybody. Let me swap over so we can say goodbye to you and we'll hold up our cards.
See more than our hands.
I always have to get my mouse reactivated before we can switch cameras because it falls asleep over there.
There we go.
Yes, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. So she's getting closer. I'm not close. Do you see it?
I did, and then you went away. It's right
My
there.
computer's across the room that does the.
It's not highlighted. Oh,
there you go.
Top one?
Yep. There we are.
Yay.
So if you subscribe to her, it's Cards by Riss. Then she'll get to 1,000 a little faster and you can
Sherry's cards.
Yes. So here's our cards. I'm going to go cut paper and she's going to stamp. So if you saw all of the stuff that we have and you want to maybe she could do something with the zebras.
I'm going to do the Father's Day whiskey card. Because that's coming
Well, you're taking the whiskey set home with you, though. You should use one of the ones you're leaving here.
Tis true. I could.
So everybody, thanks for watching us. And I have to get up to go over there to turn us all off because of all of the things. So
if
everybody
there's anything you want to see, let me know while she's turning this off.
Yes, because it takes a second to shut us all down. Yeah. So see you later, everybody. Bye.
Oh, I was going to grab the mouse and it's gone. Where'd the trash can go?